So some people confuse color balance with color grading. And so today we'll be looking at a comprehensive explanation of what color balance is and the difference between color balance and color grading. Now, when we talk about color balance, it means you are trying to bring back the original color of the picture. The original color of the picture, you are trying to make it look natural the way it is in reality. Now, for example, you shot a white wedding and the clothes that the bride is wearing is white. Whereas in your camera, because of temperature, the white dress is looking yellowish in color. All you need to do is to balance the color, which is, bringing it back to the white dress. And that is done through color balance. So that is what color balance is, trying to bring back the original color back to reality. Now, color grading is you have already achieved your color balance. So color grading cannot be done without you balancing your color first. So you must balance your color first before you go into color grading. So color grading is just a way for you to manipulate your color in order for you to achieve emotions and also a specific visual style. So it's just like you trying to manipulate your color to get what you actually want, to get the mood, the emotion, and the style in which you are visualizing. So that is color grading. So the both differs. The both are different. Why color balance is you are trying to bring back the original state of the color. Why color grading is you are trying to manipulate the color to give you the emotion, to give you the mood, and to give you the style of what you want. So that's the difference between the both. So, but outside that, we'll be looking at the color balance now, because it is the color balance that we'll be looking at today. Color balance is represented by RGB. And R means red, G means green, and B means blue. That is the RGB. And we also have the CMY, which is cyan, magenta, and yellow. Cyan, magenta, and yellow. Now, we are going to be doing something that, most photographers or most Photoshop editors does not know. And that is, when you combine the RGB together, it makes your picture to be bright. And when I'm talking about bright, it makes your picture to be whitish in nature. But when you combine your CMY, which is your cyan, magenta, and yellow, it makes your picture to be dark in nature. Now, this is a practical example. Now, I'm going to turn on the red. Remember, we are combining both the red, the green, and the blue. So when I turn on the red, turn on the green, and turn on the blue, you can see how whitish this picture looks. You can see it. So the combination of the red, green, and blue makes your picture to be white or bright, as the case may be. Now, when you take it to the other side, which is the opposite side, which is the cyan, magenta, and yellow, when you turn it towards that side, when you combine the three together, it makes your picture look dark. Now, let us see it. Now, I'll turn it to cyan, magenta, and yellow. You can see how dark your picture looks. You can see how dark your picture looks. So, for you to be able to have a good result, you must know how these things work. You must know how they work. Okay? So, the combination of the red, green, and blue makes your picture bright. The combination of the cyan, magenta, and the yellow makes your picture to look dark. Okay, so that aside, there's something else that I will want us to look at. And that is how they work hands in hands together. Now, the opposite of red is cyan. The opposite of green is magenta. The opposite of blue is yellow. The opposite of red is cyan. The opposite of green is magenta. The opposite of blue is yellow. Same thing applies to the opposite of cyan is red. The opposite of magenta is green. The opposite of yellow is blue. So, assuming our picture is looking reddish in nature, let's assume that this picture is looking reddish in nature. Now, after shooting it, because of the temperature of the place, remember, if you are shooting indoor, let's assume that you are shooting with a flash, an external flash, and then of course you are taking your flash up. Then the ceiling is yellowish in nature. You know, when you fire your shot and the flash goes up, it bounces to your subject. It's going to bring in this yellowish aspect in the picture. Now, you can only do that by balancing the color. Now, assuming you shot this picture now, and this picture is like this, how are you now going to balance it? The first thing you should understand is that this picture looks reddish in nature, first of all. So you must have an eye for color. You must have an eye for color as a photographer. Now, this picture looks reddish in nature. How am I going to bring back the original state of this picture? Is by doing the color balancing. So I'm going to balance the color. Remember, the explanation of color balance is for you, color balancing the aspect of you bringing back the picture back to its original state. Okay, so let me duplicate my layer by pressing Ctrl J. This picture originally looks reddish in nature, so let me balance the color. Then I'll go to color balance. Then remember, the opposite of cyan is red, and the opposite of red is cyan. The opposite of green is magenta, and the opposite of blue is yellow. Just like that, vice versa, vice versa. This one is opposite to this one, this one is opposite to this one. So that's how it works. Now, we already said that this picture is looking reddish in nature, which means for us to turn it off, you know, to bring it back to its original state, that means we are going to slide this one from this red to cyan. We are going to increase it slightly. You can see the difference. You can see the difference. You can see the difference now. So you can see we have gotten the original color of this picture. Now look at it. Before, after, before, after. So that's what color balance does. That's what color balance does. So remember, this picture was shot like this for an example because of the temperature of the room or whatsoever. Now we are balancing the color. All you need to do is to understand the color first. Which color is more prominent in this picture? Is it red? Is it yellow? Is it blue? So if this picture now is yellowish in nature, for example, let me turn it back. If this picture is yellowish in nature, for example, let me show you. If this picture is yellowish, okay, let's assume that this picture is like this. It's like this, for example. All you need to do is look at the picture carefully. Which color is prominent in this picture and how am I going to balance it? All you need to do is, okay, yellow is prominent in this picture. Now, let us balance the color. You press your Ctrl J. You click here, then you go to color balance here, then you turn it, you increase your, remember the opposite of yellow is blue. So since the yellow is more dominant, you increase it towards the side of blue and it will give you back your original color. To give you back your original color. Okay, let us leave this picture. Let us go to this. Okay, let us go to this picture, for example. Now, let's assume that this is how this picture is shot. This picture, this is how it is shot. Now, looking at this picture, what color is dominant in this picture? I'm going to leave that answer to you now. What color is dominant in this picture? Of course, I know you will answer me that the color that is dominant in this picture is cyan. Now, how are we going to balance this color? Of course, the same process again. Press your Ctrl J. You go to this, then color balance. The shortcut for you to get your color balance is Ctrl B. Okay, if you don't want to go through this long process. So you click on color balance. Then cyan is more dominant, right? Now we are going to increase it from this cyan to red. So let's increase, and you see the difference. You'll see. So that is it. You are seeing it now. Before, after, before, after. So that is how it is when you are balancing your color in however your picture looks like. First of all, determine which color is prominent in that picture. Okay, most of you want to learn how I balance my color, how I do my color grading. The truth is that I don't do much color grading. What I do is to balance my color. And that also applies that the kind of camera, there's an assumption that the kind of camera you use determine the color is going to give you. There's an assumption that Nikon gives more of yellowish form of color, and Canon cameras gives more of reddish something. So what I'm trying to say in essence is, if you really want to achieve that particular color, look at the color that is more dominant. Look at the color that is more dominant in your picture, then balance the color. If there's too much of red, you balance it. If there's too much, or you balance it by adding more cyan. If there's too much of magenta, you balance it by adding more green. If there's too much of yellow, you balance it by adding more blue. That is how it is. So in my next video, I'm going to talk about color grading. Now that we have talked about color balance, if you do not know this one, that means you won't also know color grading. So make sure to like this video, comment, and also turn on your notification bell so that you get all our video. So thank you for staying with us, and see you in my next video.